Thank you, Shri Nitin Desai ji, Chairman TERE, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to you all. It is great privilege to be invited to preside over an important event in TERE's annual calendar, Darbari Seth Memorial Lecture. Mr. Seth's life and work embody the message that business leaders should not only be concerned with profit but also care deeply for people, planet, and peace. He made great contribution to the building of modern India and the growth of our industrial capabilities. Though his event, we are honoring a person who has not only been a champion industrialist but also a champion of energy conservation and environment protection. His interest in environmental dimension propelled him to establish TERE back in 1974. In today's world, we see the importance of environmental dimensions in the path of economic development. Today, there are global environmental challenges, and while addressing these, we need to focus on improving human development and magnificently achieve the sustainable development goals. As a nation, we have undertaken various national campaigns recently which mirror our focus on sustainable development goals, but be it Jal Jeevan Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, or Skill India, all programs aim to do just that. The Indian government, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, has taken a multi-dimensional approach to all pillars of sustainable development. Key measures include climate action, biodiversity conservation, forestry and land neutrality, waste recycling, phasing out single-use plastic, organic farming and clean energy. India is on track to achieve and even exceed its target under Paris Agreement to combat climate changes. India's climate actions are rated highly in many independent assessments. As per the Climate Transparency Report 2020, India is the only G20 nation on track to meet its climate commitments. India has achieved 24% reduction in emission intensity of its GDP between 2005 and 2016, thereby achieving its pre-2020 voluntary target. India is among the top 5 countries of the world in terms of installed renewable energy capacities. India's non-fossil fuel based installed capacity of 151 gigawatt, which is around 39% of the total installed capacity. Honorable Prime Minister Shri Modi ji has further announced the aspirational target of renewable energy capacity of 450 gigawatt by 2030. The Honorable Prime Minister, in his Independence Day speech, announced the National Hydrogen Mission for generation and export of green hydrogen. India's total forest and tree cover, as reported in India's State of the Forest Report 2019, is 8,07,276 square kilometer, which is 24.56% of the total geographical area of the country. Total carbon stock in the country's forest is estimated to be 7,124.6 million tons, showing the increase of 42.6 million tons compared to the previous assessment of 2017. India is one of the 16 member countries of the Electric Vehicles Initiative, a multi-government policy forum dedicated to accelerating the introduction and adoption of electric vehicles worldwide. India is implementing the faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles in India scheme to support the electric vehicle market development and its manufacturing ecosystem to achieve self-sustenance. India has leaped from Bharat Stage 4 to Bharat Stage 6 emission norms by April 1, 2020, which was earlier to be adopted by 2024. Indian Railway is targeting full electrification of broad gauge routes by 2023. Indian Railways has set a target to becoming net zero carbon emitter by 2030. Accordingly, Indian Railways Organization to Alternate Fuel Green Fuel Vertical of Indian Railways has invited bid for hydrogen fuel cell based train on railways network. Ethanol blending in India has increased from 1.5% in 2014 to 8.5% at present. In 2013-14, about 38 crore liters of ethanol was purchased in the country, which was now grown to more than 320 crore liters. The Government of India has resolved to meet the target of 20% ethanol blending in petrol by 2025, which was earlier to be achieved by 2030. Under Smart Cities Mission, a first of its kind initiative, Climate Smart City Assessment Framework 2019 has been launched with intent to provide a clear roadmap for cities and urban India toward combating climate change through adoption of both mitigation and adaptation measures. India, in partnership with Sweden, launched the Leadership Group in Industry Transition Track in UN Climate Action Summit on 23rd September 2019 in New York. The government is also supporting adaptation action of the state and union territories of India through National Adaptation Fund of Climate Change. In the spirit of cooperative approaches for global outcome, India and France work together to create an international solar alliance, which has been a treaty-based organization that is open to all members of the United Nations. So far, about 79 countries have ratified the International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement. Though the International Solar Alliance and our bilateral development partnership, India is already working to enhance capacity in our neighborhood in Africa, Asia, and Latin America to deploy green technologies in support of development. A similar approach underpins our Prime Minister's initiative on creation of the Coalition of Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Here too, we scripted a cooperative approach to build resilience in infrastructure, transport, communication, building across the globe, especially in geographies susceptible to nature disaster. The objective is to find best-in-class solutions that are readily deployable, scalable, and affordable, so the consequence and the cost of managing natural and other disasters are mitigated substantially. While I listed a number of Indian initiative action and the achievement so far as in the area of addressing climate change, these examples also highlight the need for a more responsive multilateral approach in which all countries take their fair share of burden in responding to the global threat of climate change. Often, we see very complex and contested discourse on climate change. However, science is very clear. The recent IPCC report has sounded code red. The finding reaffirm the historical cumulative emission are the source of the current climate crisis. Equitable carbon and development space to achieve sustainable development require due consideration to principle of common but differentiated responsibility and respective capabilities and polluters pay. Climate change mitigation is necessary but not sufficient. Even if world stops CHG emission today, hypothetically, still the accumulated greenhouse gases will lead to climate impact requiring due consideration of climate change adaptation measures. Developing countries are highly vulnerable to climate change impact due to the dependence of large population on climate sensitive sector for livelihood. Long-term strategies need to be guided by not only mitigation but also by climate adaptation with a clear roadmap for provision of finance and technology. There is need for sustainable lifestyle as patterns of consumerism are grave threats to the environment. Habit and attitude are much a part of the solution. Equity and climate justice should be a touchstone of any global climate response. Only then we can say that we have formulated strategies that are just and in reverence for Mother Earth, our only planet. There is no planet B. I thank you for being such patient listeners. Thank you very much.